Good morning, everybody. For maybe most of you, it's still morning time in South Africa on this Saturday morning. And we are actually very happy to have someone with us who is all about details, I would say. I can see that already in her shirt matching her background picture. So
Exactly.
I'm very happy to have Carol Roux here with us from All Things Wedding from South Africa.
Thanks
So
for
thank you
having
for
me. I'm so
joining us.
excited and so much fun to see someone else's face for a change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For maybe the ones who do not know who is All Things Wedding and what are you doing with your company, where are you based, and what are you offering? Maybe you want to give us a brief of what you actually do.
We're All Things Wedding, registered as All Things Wedding SA. Originally, I think the idea was bigger than just furniture and decor hiring, which is what we currently do. We're based in Wellington and Pretoria East. So from those two branches, we serve the whole of the Western Cape and then Gauteng area. And in 2021, which is around the corner, especially for us and our new season, we're opening a decor branch in Durban, which is super exciting.
Wow.
Oh, wow. When are you coming to George?
That was actually top of mind and top of my list at the beginning because my parents live there, so I'll kind of have a support
Really?
system. Yeah. And I
Okay.
recently had a wedding coordinator reach out to me and also saying that she would be interested in a franchise. So it's not too far in the future, definitely.
Wonderful.
So yeah, we do furniture and decor hiring and lighting, but the future idea, which obviously now we're working on when we have time, is all strategies in the future and all the ideas that you had or have, but never get time to develop or to put into action, is to offer a platform where it's kind of a one-stop shop for DIY brides that are trying to plan everything. Not that we're excluding planners at all, but it's just one platform where you can find a lot of different categories, but limited options. So not overwhelming, like maybe 3 photographers, 3 options of a venue in your price range or so. So yeah, that's who we are.
That sounds interesting, and I like that you are carry on working for the future, because I think for not a lot, but for some in our industry is very difficult, and everybody is different, and some take it easier, maybe some others also hit it more harder. Nonetheless, yesterday we've been listening to a wedding planner from America, and she said we like have to think the way that we have to show up. We have to just think it is a certain period of time. It's not over. Our life is not over. Our business is not over. Yeah. So it's difficult, and maybe for some it will not be a good end, but we all have to think in a way how we can make changes and carry on, and I think that is the way forward. And I like
to be honest, that's obviously all in my mind, and what you do every morning is to keep the spirits up and to know that this will pass. What are you going to do when it comes back in a bang, and believe that it'll be back in a different way, but it'll still be successful, and the industry will still be there. So how you can gear yourself for that day, please let it be soon. But I think emotionally for everyone, you spend so many years, or and even for those that are new, you spend so much energy, time, emotions, everything building this business. So you can't help but react emotionally. And I think an emotional reaction with a shock to the system, because it came out of nowhere. It literally just hit you like a wall, and the frustration that it is out of your control is just so real, and that makes it emotional, which can make you not think clearly, not think beyond what I'm currently doing or what I used to do, And for some people, it could take longer than others to get over that hurdle or that mental block, maybe.
Yes, no, I think you are completely right. I mean, I think we have said that now already many times. There is a mourning process, that I think has happened for every business owner. Not only that, but also maybe also for employees to just like all of a sudden like had to face a complete new world that they were in, like really from like one moment to the other without any like lead time to really prepare for something like this. And no one in our lives have actually really like seen something like this before. So I think that is like quite right what you said. But maybe on the flip side of it all, for people like you who are maybe also now reaching out more to brides and grooms themselves who are planning, do you see that people are actually taking the time and maybe contacting you like couples and maybe even also planners for requests? Like, do they also like still like have weddings in mind still for 2021 or even 2022? So what is your experience?
So my experience is that even communicate or outreach is definitely less than what it usually is. But I'm 100% sure that people are planning, because you can see it in the amount of engagement on social media in terms of questions that they are asking. So they're preparing themselves 100%, reaching out still on all these group or like wedding groups for engaged couples and brides to be. They're still asking the same questions and the same amount of questions. There's the same amount of people asking these questions. But I'm thinking that the book, everyone is unsure. And that is kind of the biggest frustration for me. And I can just imagine for a bride, because, I mean, is the uncertainty and there's no clarity around an estimate of when and why and how many guests, my venue. They can't commit to those things. So definitely a reduced amount of communication, but where there is communication, it's super like open, clear. We also ask like, and we kind of offer and say that we know you're in the situation and we've got time, so ask us any questions that, if you want from me, if you want any advice on your venue or a photographer that you being able to use, I'm happy to chat. Just anyone that'll want to chat.
Sure, I understand. Yes.
So the relationship from the beginning is kind of awesome and open. I think it's just as soon as there's more clarity on what people can do, we can think, okay, maybe it's first going to be like intimate weddings of 10 people and then 50 and then 100 or whatever, but it's all just estimation, and that's kind of driving everyone nuts.
Because you have no point to start and to carry on when you once you have
information.
If there would be maybe an information, there is only like 50 people gatherings permitted, so then everyone would know, okay, we can start from that point and say, okay, those 50 people, they are important for us, so we carry on, we go for a venue that can accommodate 50 people, and then like the ball is rolling, but we still maybe have to wait a little bit for this information. I think that is not coming. Hopefully it comes soon, but it's not coming soon.
It's like rather towards the end of the year and maybe even into the next year. I don't want to, we all don't have the crystal ball, but when we just see things also in other countries, then this is like a little bit leading us to this,
But it's also
idea,
hard to follow the countries. Well, there was two things that I wanted to say. What you just said, Alfie, about realistically is one of the emotions that I think I go through every third day is denial. Thinking that, no, the president will speak this week and give us some clarity or whatever. Something that'll give me sanity and something to look forward to. That's so frustrating. And and then the following countries, I go between. I'm not. You also don't know which country to target your reality to, because I mean, America is a completely different story. But you find your feed being, say 60% of like wedding things maybe in America, which you or maybe that you believe these bloggers, or I don't know. But I also told myself to not necessarily think that we'll follow that exact path, but rather to focus on a different country, Australia or New Zealand.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all
Christmas Island or something like that.
I think we all want to have. I mean, I think let's maybe start with. I also just this morning I said, actually, you know what? I would really want the president to like make a speech or hear him like to give at least a direction to say, this is going to take like at least the stage that we are in right now, not even maybe saying the other stages, but to at least to have a direction to say, you know what, we are now here and this is what we are doing. This is how long it's going to take us. And then, I mean, everyone knows that also he doesn't have a crystal ball, but I just think we need the feedback that everyone who is like sticking to the rules right now and staying at home is also somehow, that there is a resonance that gets back from government.
Yeah. I've had this discussion with my husband like a million times because it's a big frustration for me, because I'm saying that if you compare the governance to a corporate business or it's something that's running and needs success, the leader needs to report back often, especially in crisis, because otherwise different people form different opinions and solutions. And you just go your own way. If you're not communicating and if you're not saying that, because you've done this is what we've avoided, and looking back and forward, so saying that you know what, we predicted that this was going to be the number, by this time we're below it or we're above it, which means we unfortunately have 100%. Whatever, just give us some real facts. And don't treat us
a
like
feedback.
We are totally with you, and we discussed it actually the last couple of days, that we really, like we said, even did we miss something, like we were asking,
we were like looking online, we were like, did we miss a speech, or were we not on TV or something like this, because we were like, okay, everyone is silent, so what is happening? Is it like the worst news out there, or no news out there, or what's wrong?
I think the communication is in any way, and it's not about the president or whatever. And I must also admit, like, I appreciated, like, until like now, the last announcement, all what he has communicated and the way how he communicated. I mean, like, we live here for long and we have seen quite a lot of presidents, and also if you see presidents in other countries, what's happened there. So I'm proud actually of the communication so far. But now, Mr. Ramaphosa, it's time to talk again.
Exactly.
I think the feedback is, and I think, I mean, coming to this, and I think maybe that is also now what we can all actually take away from a business side, because you also rightfully said, like, communication is the key. And I believe this, or we believe there's so much communication to our clients, to our stakeholders, to everyone involved is super important.
Actually, the first time when I was like, every day I, like a crazy person, just walk a couple of rounds around my house, and I was feeling this frustration and kind of like marbling through it in my mind and thinking that, you know what, I'm frustrated with our leader for not communicating, and then I realized, hey, that means my staff might be frustrated, or because I was thinking also that if you're not communicated to, you start building your own thoughts. So maybe my staff are, in fear or creating things in their mind that's possibly not true. So rather, even if it's good or bad news, communicate clearly and tell them what the future is and what the plans are. Communicate with them, because we're all doing things on the side and in the background to make it work. So give them that
reassurance. I think
reassurance.
Yes.
And knowing
I think also
here
right now with
washing dishes, and that's all I'm doing,
I think now with all the like home office and staying at home, on the one hand side, like when you are in an office, when you have the people around you, they see what you're doing, or you have much more easy access to people. You see whether they are frustrated or angry or happy, or, now you must actually do much more communication, at least from a management position, because you need to check onto your people, and you need to let them know that they are not alone, and that you are actually.
They also have feelings, like they have good days, bad days. We also try to communicate almost every single day, either by WhatsApp or by phone, our staff, and to communicate with them. Also, we give them like jobs to do. We are also working on our future. Let's say we let them build on our future. And what is also for us, like right at the beginning, what we decided, we are going to phone every single day our clients, not every day the same, but we have almost 600, 700 people in our database. So, I mean, it takes a while.
Yes.
So I think a lot of them, what we got as a feedback is they said, no one phoned me so far. No one actually was interested so far how I'm feeling. So there was a lot of people, so much appreciation that at least someone took the phone and was just talking. I mean, we are not asking like when you will place the next order.
No.
We just wanted to check on them, and I think that is what businesses also bring together, the emotional side of the business, because we all, when business is hectic, we all forget that we are people. We do business with people and not with companies. So we run like after the money, we run after the jobs, and we totally forget to talk to each other. And this like situation where everybody had to come from 100 to 0, that was a shock, obviously, for all of us, but also a possibility to reflect where we are in, what we are
and
doing. And even us, we were talking like, what we don't want to go like back to what we have done. And a lot of people that we talked, they had the same like thoughts, and I think that is also a positive result what happens.
Yeah, it's funny how we've always wished for more time and always using the I'm too busy and not stopping in, and now you've given time and now you're panicking and don't want this. So I guess
Can I just Carol, can I just ask you, going back a little bit to what your business is and what you're doing? I mean, you make weddings more beautiful with obviously like all the things that you offer, from glasses to cutlery to candelabras and like whatever there is. Where do you usually draw your trend inspirations from? And like, how do you go like about like, because do you like buy for the next season, for the next year? Do you just like do emotional buying? You're like, just like, I don't care what the trends say. I like this. This is what I'm gonna like have in the inventory. Or like, just tell us a bit more about usually the process, and how big is your warehouse maybe, and like what, like just that people also understand also the responsibilities, I mean, of your business right now, where there's no events taking place. And I think there is a lot of people, whether it is like you or others, who just like right now still, I mean, all running a lot of responsibilities, while we know that for the next months, there is really nothing that we can grab in our hands.
So our company's mission is to make dream weddings more affordable and accessible to modern, money-savvy brides. And all decisions I make, I refer to if it feeds and that mission. So we're working with to create a dream wedding. It needs to be beautiful, hopefully in a way timeless, but also modern, money-savvy brides. So it needs to be affordable for me and for them, and that needs to make sense. So I find by striving to create that, I have to manage our resources, and by resources I mean staff, money, storage, vehicles, very effectively. And sure, all companies strive to do that, but I mean that is how I can provide something at an affordable price. Hello, are you guys frozen or are you there? Oh, yeah. Oh,
Can you hear us, Carol? Oh, no, there you are again. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. Yeah, it just broke. I'm
somehow
sorry.
we lost you, but you are back now. I'm sorry.
So you said what we got is like you want to have like you offer something to like modern, money savvy, like
brides.
brides
To be able to do that,
and grooms.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. And to do that, or to be able to offer that at an affordable and being accessible, more than other companies, I need to focus on on managing our resources effectively and efficiently. And that means our warehouse space needs to be limited. And how can I offer it at a more affordable prices to use these resources smarter? And so we've got very small showrooms, and try to do most business online, and be like modern by sharing videos and pictures and whatever, and working with a corporate bride that doesn't have time to go out to wherever she needs to be, and we put then most of our things in storage. So we've got a showroom, but it's not these huge, massive walk-in warehouses. I mean, it is. We've got a small warehouse. It's like 50 square warehouse in Wellington, and in Gauteng it's even smaller but modern. It's more like a showroom office. So that's what we try to do, and also that has been helpful in the situation where our fixed costs are, I think, and hopefully kind of lower than what we have to. Our committed costs are lower than what it could have been. And what it's also been helpful for is our brand is affordable luxury. So it's okay for us to offer discounts, which we always do. We try to give different offers every single month. Our offers change, and we do bundle deals and that type of thing. So it's not any different for us to be doing it in the situation during this time. So we just change our offerings in this time to hopefully make it attractive for possible brides. But then what you asked me is how do we purchase? I also know that some people have fixed dates or expos that they go to, or wherever that they decide, and they save for the year and put money aside and say, we're buying this at this time. Or I kind of possibly mostly buy on the fly when we feel that something fits our mission. So is it modern, money savvy? Have we had a couple of requests? So I'll never buy something if I haven't definitely had a couple of people asking for this and looking for this. We definitely follow trends. I love Australia and New Zealand's wedding industry personally. And so I love seeing what they're doing, the new trends and what they're doing, and then sometimes what I possibly like. So I'll also post things and ask, do you like this? Would you want this? And base it on that. I think that's another, obviously all small businesses have been suffering and during this time, but the one thing that's to our advantage is that we're more agile and able to adapt quicker than a corporate. And also, I think we're a lot closer to our clients. And that gives us the opportunity to ask them and to engage with them and asking them their opinion. So that's how I've been buying things. And sure, here and there, I could have, if I bought everything at once, could have gotten more discount, but I do have good relationships with suppliers that we purchase things from and import things from. So it's been working so far.
Wonderful. Tell me, like, I should have asked this actually right at the beginning. How this all started? How do you became buyer, or how do you got the idea to do that?
So before I was engaged, and I wasn't that typical girl that was dreaming about her wedding ever. I had no idea what my dress had to look like, what my wedding had to look like. Zero interest, zero, zero, zero. But the one thing that I do love, and that is a passion of mine, is pretty things in general. So I like beautiful things, and surprisingly, I enjoyed the being engaged process, and I enjoyed planning my wedding. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't find it hard. I didn't find it stressful. Nothing, and it was literally the best day of my life. The next morning when I opened my eyes, I was like, "Let's do that again."
Great.
And
Let's do it again.
and a lot of people said that you shouldn't spend too much money on your wedding, etc., etc. And I was very wary of that and staying in my budget, because I've actually got a corporate background. I studied like for 7 years in business, and so I was, and I had to like submit this budget to my dad, on what it's going to look, what I'm planning for the wedding, and stay in my budget, and but I still wanted a beautiful wedding, and I made it work. And the next morning, I felt like some of the things that I cut that I would not have. I wanted to spend more money on the wedding because I knew that it was worth it. The next morning, the feeling that I had, and I still do, is every cent was worth it. Because to have everyone that you love and at your wedding in one room, everyone, and enjoy spending time with them, enjoying food and music and wine, was just the best. Anyway, but during that time, myself and my sister-in-law were both engaged, and we wanted to create a job for someone in our family that was struggling. And she was older and couldn't find a job, so we decided to buy white Tiffany chairs to rent out, and for her to then manage the process of delivering it to the venues, and something small. And we bought the chairs and advertised. We actually advertised before we bought the chairs, because obviously weddings get booked in advance.
This is how it works.
This is how it goes. Like usually, like you have a vision and you just run.
And then that way, brides and venues started asking us all the time, and I was doing the communication. Do you have more things? Do you have more things? And we all had full-time jobs, and we didn't have more things. And then I worked for a company where I had access to decor, home decor, at staff discounted prices. And rose gold cutlery back then was like being trendy, and
the ultimate.
I think I was the first or the second person in South Africa to have the cutlery. And then one day I was thinking, I wasn't a fan of the rose gold cutlery actually, so I just bought it and I started hiring out, and I had so many, and that had like so many people asking us for more decor. And then what happened is, one random night, I was thinking, you know what, rose gold makes me think of like Pretoria people. and those girls, I don't know what, not in a bad way. I was just like, that's so typical. Maybe I should try advertise in Pretoria. I mean, it's cutlery. It's easy to courier up and down or something.
Yeah.
And then that just took off from there, because then I met someone up there that could help me manage it. And from there, I just bought more and more and more things. And within from there to like a full warehouse full of things, it took about 1.5 years. So it was quite quickly. And both branches, both Wellington and Pretoria. So yeah, sometimes I would get a product and just one set and test it between the two markets, if it would work, and then I'll buy the second set for wherever it needs to be. So yeah, it kind of grew organically and quickly, but it was fun, and it still is.
Mhm. That's amazing. I think it's always great to hear also the story, like how things started, and that we sort of, I mean, we all started with zero. I mean, somewhere, some started in their garage somewhere, some started in their living room, in their kitchen with something that they're passionate about, you know. And I think it's always a great story, like to hear, like from the start. And it's
also interesting to listen to your story that, and this is what I very often say, that life guides you sometimes very unexpectedly. So you can make a plan, but then things come like up quite like unexpected. But you just have to take these opportunities and make the best out of it. There's many people, they might fear to take up opportunities, but what can happen actually? Nothing can really happen. You can only learn and you can move on. I think that is what also I like to encourage people to take up opportunities that come along the way, you know.
For sure. And exactly, and that's possibly what this time could also be for a lot of people, is that something happens organically and changes for the better. It's just about, you possibly don't see it right now, but it will change, and it can be much better at the end of this situation. I even wanted to tell you that I was also working full time during this. In the evenings, I would like build the website, advertise, do whatever I was doing, and it feels like yesterday. But I only left my full time job end of 2018, so it feels like last year, but not last year, the year before. And we still had obviously people working for us and helping during the day, doing everything that needs to be done. But I also enjoyed my permanent job, so it was hard to leave that and to imagine, because that wasn't part of the original plan, like all things wedding and weddings, and this wasn't part of the original plan. And then sometimes it works out for the better.
Wonderful. So let's maybe also give those people, they might actually not really know where to find you, some details, like what's your like Instagram or website or whatever, how they can reach you.
We're on allthingsweddingsa.com, and that's our website. Our catalogs are loaded there. We're actually, that's what we're doing during this time or so, is we're building a new website that'll also be a lot more or easier. It's a way for us to use our resources better, because you'll be able to shop online soon. So you'll just put everything in your basket and get an automated quote. So it'll be much easier pretty soon, but our website is still live. Our catalogs are loaded. And then we're on Instagram and Facebook on All Things Wedding SA.
Okay, wonderful. Amazing. So All Things Wedding SA. And I just hope that a lot of people out there who are looking at a wedding are going to come across your page. At least it's something, I mean, design we can all relate to. We can all like visualize like how is the wedding going to look like. I just have to also say, from a communications perspective, from the wedding planning side, we love also your staff, like how quickly they respond. I have to say this because it's really true. We are currently also planning a wedding for next year, and you have been very accommodative also in terms of payment terms. I think that is also something that I need to raise here, because I mean, we all know that right now, I think at least if we can see that there is a prospective client that is willing to commit, that we can maybe also do something on the payment term side. So that is really great that you have also accommodated that.
Yeah, a lot of people currently, obviously, as a business, you realize that your contracts need to be geared for all situations, and I think a lot of people will work on that. But what I think what everyone should also do, and possibly it's so easy to quickly create, is COVID-19 policies. Like, what is your policy, and communicate that to everyone to make everyone feel more at ease and give them options. So
Yeah.
reward the ones that do want to continue as per normal. We're doing gifting, or if you want to be relieved with payment terms, be open to that, because everyone is in this situation, and it's not just about cash flow. It's about giving people a little more certainty. And I think when I plan my wedding, as soon as you have a tick and you kind of made a decision, you're so anxious before you make. Anxious is maybe a strong word, but you've got it like an uneasy feeling when you're making a choice, because you've got choices of a photographer, of decor, or a venue. But as soon as you made that commitment, the anxiety or the uneasiness is relieved, and that's a great feeling to have, especially during this time. So it's not just beneficial for the supplier. I think it's for a bride also. Once you've had your tick, it makes you feel so much better and confident and excited.
Right. Totally agree. I would actually love to also speak a bit more, but I think it's a little bit
I don't know how the connection is, because we are losing you constantly. I don't know. Do you see the same?
Yes. So that's why I don't want to like put you in a bad spotlight, but what I have heard so far is really amazing. And I think, and we hope that, first of all, I think your Durban branch next year is going to take off amazing, because what we like expect for the wedding industry at large is 2021 is going to be super busy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is we hope for this, obviously, but I think it's a reality, because a lot of weddings have shifted from this year to next year, and then obviously the couples that are already we're already planning for next year are there in any case. So I think it's going to be very busy, and we wish you much success. Thank you so much for your time, and just keep your vision.
Yeah,
I think that is important. Keep inspiring people, and thank you for your beautiful items that you bring also to make the weddings for planners much more enjoyable.
Thank you too.
It was very inspirational, actually, to listen to you. Really, I must say.
Thank you so much.
You guys are too, and thanks for bringing us these videos. I was telling them earlier, if everyone.
We just want to bring the people together. In lockdown, we need to actually be creative.
Exactly. Thanks for chatting.
Thank you, Carol. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Brogan. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.